Taylor's right here. Jenkins. I'm so excited.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of College Crossfire tonight. I'm your host, Jeff Park. Before we dive right into some UT football talk, let's introduce you to tonight's panel. To my immediate right, we have the two-time champion. I don't know if that's some sort of record or anything. We have to check with the College Crossfire.
I think it's a record.
Going for 3 straight.
Trying to make a dynasty here tonight.
It's Addison Stahl there, ladies and gentlemen. In the middle, Thomas Bingham, an established veteran panelist on the show. Thomas, what's up?
I am back. Bingham's back, baby. I'm excited.
Woo! And, hey, can you even do the little gun show for us or something, man? Bingham's back, folks. And last but not least, making his first ever appearance on the show, Mark Skoll. Mark, how's it going?
I'm glad to be here, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're glad to have you guys. Let's get right into it. This past weekend, Texas welcomed Baylor and their #1 ranked offense to town. The Hornets defense did their part, holding Bryce Petty and the Bears to just 3 offensive touchdowns. But it was once again the offense that couldn't pull their own weight and ultimately sank Texas's chance of pulling off the upset. Hornets now sit at 2-3 overall, 1-1 in conference play. So let's kick off tonight's show with some takeaways from Saturday's game. Addison, start us off.
Well, let's start us off with this defense is very good. This Texas defense held Bryce Petty to 111 yards passing, who is a fantastic quarterback. He's been setting every team he's played against on fire. He only had an 8.2 quarterback rating. He's averaging a 92 quarterback rating across the season. So, I mean, that's a tremendous drop-off that this Hornets defense caused. At the same time, Swoops is just, he's got to play better. He can't keep on turning the ball over. He's killing this defense with 2 interceptions and a fumble in that game. That was rough to see.
All right, Thomas?
It's all about that defense, like you were saying. But once again, the defense wore down as the game progressed because the offense isn't helping them or giving them a chance to rest or anything. So basically, the defense is going to be, it's been our greatest asset all season long, and our offense just continues to struggle. I mean, they only have 7 offensive touchdowns since North Texas in 4 games. That's horrible. Plus, Swoops can't drive us down the field, but also the game was all about missed opportunities. I mean, fumbling at the goal line at the end of the first half, and also giving up a number of 4th downs to Baylor throughout the game. So, a combination of offense being stagnant, but also some missed opportunities, and that's why Texas fell on Saturday.
All right, Mark, what's up?
Well, I'm an optimist, so I think Texas is on the right track. The score wasn't actually how close the game was. So I think that UT actually played really well defensively for the first 3 quarters. They didn't allow an offensive touchdown until halfway through the 3rd quarter. And they only allowed, when you allow Bryce Petty to only throw for 111 yards, you have to be doing something right, right? And I didn't think they started playing bad defensively until the 4th quarter when, what's his name, Shock ran all over them, they had over 200 yards rushing. But I think the key to this game was just they had so many costly mistakes. I don't think Texas should have gone for the field goal. I don't think Nick Rose has the kind of leg to make a field goal from that kind of distance. And I also think Swoops had the opportunity to give Texas momentum into halftime. And he fumbled the ball on the 1-yard line, cost us 7 points. I mean, that's a momentum changer, and it just completely ruined us for the game. And I think if the reason we lost is just Swoops' play. I think if Swoops begins to play better, we're going to be a lot better. He's throwing behind receivers a lot of times on, when he's rolling out. He's always throwing behind them. If he's leading them forward, they're going to be getting 5 to 10 more yards on each reception.
Yeah, I mean, those are corrections that he can make in practice. I mean, it's not like he's like inept in the playbook or anything like that. I mean, those are just plays that he'll probably, or hopefully, make next time for Texas. But Thomas mentioned the missed opportunities. You guys all kind of mentioned it. Thomas, you brought that up first. I'm going to give you the point to start us out. And guys, fortunately for Texas, they have another chance at claiming that big statement game that they let slip away against Baylor. That statement game that they so desperately need this weekend in Dallas. The Horns will face number 11 ranked Oklahoma Sooners in the annual Red River Showdown Saturday morning. Sooners are coming off an upset loss to TCU, so guys, we know they're beatable. But how does this Texas team match up with OU and any chance of getting a big win? Thomas?
Not at all. Texas, like I was saying in the first segment, is really bad on the offensive side of the ball. They are 117th in scoring, 104th in passing, and 97th in rushing. When you're that bad, you're not going to be able to beat even a team with Trevor Knight on the other side of the field. So I don't see Texas, even with their great defense that basically only gave up 21 points to a team last week in Baylor that was scoring 56 going into that. I don't think even that great defense can hold Oklahoma.
All right, Thomas giving him no chance. Mark?
I think Texas's defense can match up with anybody at this point. After shutting out Kansas 2 weeks ago and shutting down Baylor's offense last week, I think they have a good chance. Trevor Knight, if Texas can get inside his head, I think it's going to be a tough day for the Sooner offense, and I think it's a matchup in favor of the Longhorns. I honestly, anything can happen on any given college football Saturday. So
that last week.
So I mean, Texas definitely has a chance of winning. So I'm giving it a 40% chance that Texas comes up with a victory.
Okay. Addison?
I gotta
Are you
say,
as confident as Mark, or?
I think I am as confident as Mark. I might be even a little bit more confident than Mark. I gotta say, let me reiterate, we held Bryce Petty to 111 yards passing. We outgained the Baylor offense through the first half.
I mean, I know it's a story of missed opportunities, but in fairness, with the defense shutting down Bryce Petty, he was kind of lighting up mediocre to very poor defense at the beginning of the season. I mean, that was the toughest defense he faced all year, but still, you're right. I mean, only complete 7 passes.
Our defense had a dominant performance on Bryce Petty, and I think that our offense, if they can correct those miscues, I really think we have a strong chance against OU. Also, let me remind everybody that Swoops' numbers are actually better than Knight's. He only has 5 touchdowns, which is the same as Swoops, but he has more interceptions by 2, and his completion percentage is only 54% compared to Swoops' 59%. So I really think the Horns have a chance in this game.
All right, you put it above 50%?
I'm going to put it above 50%. I believe in this team. I think that also Swoops got the jitters of the rivalry game out of the way at Baylor, and I think that now he's ready to play a complete game against OU.
All right, I'm going to go with the in-between Addison and Thomas, and I was going to give Mark the point for 40%. I like that. I think Texas can do it. I think they do match up pretty well, so Mark's getting the point on this one. Now, guys, this past weekend in college football is one of the most exciting we've seen in a while, and the games in the Big 12 are no exception. TCU upset OU. Baylor looked less than impressive against Texas. K-State and Oklahoma State recorded big-time wins over Tech and Iowa State. Did anything happen this past weekend that changed your mind as to who might end up atop the conference at the end of the season? Mark?
I still think the Big 12 is wide open. It's a race between 4 teams. I think if TCU ends up beating Baylor...
Who are those 4 teams?
TCU, Baylor, Oklahoma State. I think if...
No K-State? No?
Really? That's a problem.
I think if TCU beats Baylor this weekend, I think they're going to end up winning the Big 12 just because they would have gotten wins against Baylor and Oklahoma. Oklahoma State's obviously a contender because they've only lost 1 game coming to Florida State, and it was a loss by a small margin. So you have to give them some credit there. I think the picture is going to clear up after this weekend, especially if Texas ends up with the upset over OU. But I honestly have to go with either TCU or Oklahoma State.
Okay.
For right now, I like Oklahoma State. One thing that I can make very clear is that I don't think Baylor's going to win this division. This team is just, I don't think they're ready for it. We saw against the Longhorn defense that this offense is not as good as they've been sold to be. I also don't think that OU is that good. I firmly believe right now in Oklahoma State because they had a very strong showing against Florida State, and I think they're ready to make some noise in the Big 12. I don't think that TCU is that good either because they have only played against OU, who, like I said, I don't think is that good. Okay. So I like the battle-tested OK State in this game.
Okay.
Or in this season.
I still like the preseason favorites, actually. I think Baylor still has an explosive offense, even if Texas slowed us down last week. Also, I do think that Oklahoma is still in the mix. They are just always there in the end, whether we like it or not. And so I'm still going with Baylor and Oklahoma.
Okay, I'm going to go with Thomas on this one. Don't know if I've seen enough to dethrone the reigning champs just yet. I mean, they haven't had a loss yet. Obviously, didn't look good against Texas, but still sticking with Baylor right now. I think it's a little too soon to tell. Okay, that's going to take us to our first break of the night. Coming up next, take a look at some of the other upsets across college football. Our panelists will let you know if they think the Cowboys are the best team in the NFC East. Stay right here. You're watching College Crossfire.
CTP is using the latest technology to keep kids March $5.99 carry-out special. With a deal this amazing, you're going to need a ton of boxes. This week, carry out large two-topping pizzas for just $5.99 each, only at Domino's.
Texas Student Television is a fantastic place for students that want to learn about television. You see, we'll teach you things, cool things. Things like, what's a jib? What's a jib? This is a jib. In fact, I believe we're using a jib right now in order to film this promo. But you see, it's not all about the learning. TSTV also has a bunch of cool shows you want to watch. Shows that have to do with news, sports, comedy, we got it all. Because here at TSTV, we're entertaining and educational, just not at the same time.
Back to College Crossfire. Addison, Thomas, Mark, joining me on the show tonight, guys. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate you being here. Let's get a quick score update before we continue on. Addison, the reigning champ. Got that target on your back, man. Got a goose egg for the first round.
You're killing it right now, man. You're killing it.
I know you're going to come back. Just cracking the whip a little bit on you there.
Appreciate
Thomas, the returning veteran. First time on the show this semester.
Yeah.
And Mark, the first timer, the newbie, got one on the scoreboard, man. Congratulations. Guys, we talked about it a little bit earlier in the first round of the show. Crazy weekend in college football. 5 teams in last week's AP Top 10 fell short in Week 6. Oregon, Alabama, and UCLA all took L's. All this craziness allowed some unlikely teams to slide into this week's top 10. But which upset from last week surprised you guys the most? Addison.
This is an easy one. Oregon was favored by 24 points at home against Arizona. And the blue and unranked Arizona team came into their house on underdog by 24 points and won the game. And did so with convincing fashion. I mean, this Oregon team.
Oregon they do this every single year.
Arizona was undefeated, though, just to let you know.
Arizona was a soft for it.
But they were still undefeated. They still were.
Or Thomas, what was it for you?
Mississippi State over A&M, actually. I don't think anyone really took it seriously. Or at least took the Bulldogs seriously. I mean, it was all about the Rebels in the state of Mississippi. But now that they have beaten A&M, I would have to say that A&M is in a little bit of trouble, and the Dogs are number 3 in the nation right now. The Aggies gave up a performance that Johnny would normally put up with 5 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 2 passing, so I would definitely say Bulldogs.
Yeah, the state of Mississippi.
I know, right?
Awesome.
Both tied for 3.
Tied for 3rd. I think that was definitely set up.
I have to go with Arizona over Oregon also. Anytime you give up 208 rushing yards, your chances of winning are slim to none, especially when it's a true freshman is averaging 7.1 yards per carry and Nick Wilson. That's just awful by the Oregon defense. The Oregon defense was just atrocious in this game. Another reason why they're bad is they lack the composure that they should have had. They were given a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty late in the game, which gave Arizona the ball back, and allowed Arizona to score a clutch touchdown. Anytime you do this, it's not going to look good for your defense.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Arizona over Oregon. Thomas, you mentioned they were 4-0. I said it before. I still think I think it was a soft 4-0. They hadn't really played too many teams. I mean, this is a team that doesn't really have much of a rushing attack. I mean, they do now, but we didn't think they would have Gideon Carey, who they had for 3 or 4 years over there, rushing for them almost over 2,000 yards. So I think Arizona's a little bit more surprising. Mississippi State, also very surprising. Ole Miss, very surprising. I mean, UCLA losing to Utah, tons of crazy upsets, but Addison, Mark going to get the points on this one. Moving on to the MLB playoffs now. A lot happened since we talked about this last week, guys. Giants and Cardinals, 2 of baseball's most successful franchises of late, will go head-to-head in the NLDS. In the AL, though, we saw 2 underdog teams sweep the ALDS series. That's what we're going to talk about right now. So which underdog team, the O's or the Royals, do you guys see advancing out of the ALCS and into the World Series? Thomas?
I got the Royals, the team that keeps winning and winning and winning in extra innings. I got to go with them. They beat the best team in baseball, the Angels, so I have to go with them.
All right, riding the momentum.
Yeah, I am.
I have to go with the Royals as well. The reason being is that they're hungry. They really want to win. They haven't been to the playoffs since 1985, which is before any of us were even born yet. I mean, they're just really hungry to win. They got a solid lineup in Aoki, Gordon, and Hosmer. Their pitching is great with Shields, Vargas, and Venturas. And their pitching staff throughout the whole season had a cumulative 3.02 ERA. And it was just amazing. And Billy Butler stealing bases, that just shows how much faith they have. I mean, when a guy like that is stealing bases, that just shows how much determination and the will they have to win. The city wants to win, the team wants to win, and I don't see anyone stopping them from achieving their goal.
It's definitely fun to watch, easy to root for right now. My favorite part of that team is that outfield. Those guys are unbelievable, cover so much ground out there.
Well, I'm going to go with the only team that delivered for me last week. I picked 4 teams, the only team that won for the Kansas City Royals. I got these guys taking the ALCS and going to the World Series. They are the first team in MLB history to win 3 games in a row in extra innings. They did it against the best team in baseball, the Angels. They also had a tremendous comeback win against Oakland. This is a hot team. I like James Shields in this game 1 to beat the Baltimore Orioles and to keep it rolling.
Okay, so we're making it a sweep. I guess I'll jump on the bandwagon too, take the Royals. You guys taking them to win the World Series too? You guys think they got enough momentum to do that?
No, that's tough. No.
So we gotta sweep up on the nose.
You know what?
The Giants and Cardinals are
I
doing
think this
that
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to stay behind them. I think we're taking the World Series.
All right.
I'll show the loyalty here.
All right, well, everyone's getting a point for the sweep here. To the NFL we go now. Before we go to break, guys, the NFC East has quietly become one of the best conferences in football through the first 5 weeks of the season. The Cowboys and Eagles sit tied atop first place with 4-1 records. Giants right behind with a 3-2 record. And with the Cowboys headed into Seattle, Giants and Eagles facing off this weekend. We'll know a lot more after these games play out on Sunday. But who you guys have right now is the best team in that NFC East? Mark.
I hate to say this, but I have to go with the Cowboys.
Yeah, boy!
I mean, I can't take Philly because Foles and Shady haven't been playing up to par. Their defense is what's scoring all their points. I mean, the Eagles have
Special teams, isn't it?
no, it's defense.
Back-to-back weeks with a punt block return for a touchdown.
Yeah, the Eagles' offense has only scored 65% of their touchdowns, which is worse than the NFL. On the other hand, the Cowboys, they're 4-1. They've won 4 in a row. They could easily be 5-0 if they didn't put themselves in such a big hole against the 49ers. And the Saints, even though they're not the Saints of last year, they're still the Saints, and the Cowboys just destroyed them. I mean, and the whole reason why the Cowboys are doing so well is just because DeMarco Murray. He's joined himself in company with Jim Brown and O.J. Simpson, rushing for 100 yards in the first 5 games. And Rod Marinelli's doing a great job on the defensive side of the ball, even without Sean Lee. I think if Murray keeps doing what he's doing, Tony Romo doesn't turn the ball over, of course, and I think this is Dallas' division to lose.
It seems like it took them long enough, though, to figure out that if you give the ball to DeMarco Murray, balance out the play calling a little bit, and might win some more games. Addison, what do you think?
I can't believe this guy. I can't believe
Can't believe he's going with the Dallas?
I cannot believe he's going with the Cowboys. First of all, this Saints team is not the Saints team of old. In fact, this Saints team is trash this year. They're not great. And besides the Saints team, they beat Buffalo. They had to come back against the Rams.
Yeah, we didn't play Buffalo.
They didn't play Buffalo? Buffalo. Anyway, they had to make a tremendous comeback. Oh, no, they didn't play Buffalo. They played the Texans. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
They played
There
the
you go.
Texans, and they played the Rams. They had to have a massive comeback against the Rams, and they had to have a comeback as well against the Texans. This Cowboys team is not the best team in the division yet. I got to go with Philadelphia here, which I hate to say. I don't like Philadelphia. But they're the best team in the NFC East right now. They can score on defense, they can score on special teams, and they've got a high-power offense with Colin.
Okay, Thomas, who you taking?
I'm going with my boys! Cowboys, baby! And the main reason why is DeMarco freaking Murray. DeMarco Murray, 5 consecutive 100-yard rushing games. That defense, Doomsday reincarnated. Yeah, let's do it. This defense, 9 quarters that they have shut out an opponent this season. Let's do it. No one believes in this team this year. This is our year, baby. Let's
point.
How could you not give points for that? Thomas is going to take the point right there, Mark. I know you said the Cowboys too, but I cannot not give him the solo point right there for that enthusiasm.
I can't get mad at you for that.
With that now, we're going to take our final break for the night, guys. Don't go anywhere. Coming up, it's our rapid fire round. Make it a little bit more exciting too. Stay tuned. It's College Crossfire.
For a limited time at Domino's, large two-topping pizzas are only $5.99 each when you carry out, which is why we brought in Dale.
Dale Lamar, Domino's fastest pizza box forward.
Because when you have a $5.99 carry-out deal this amazing, the last thing you want to do is run out of boxes.
Because no box, no carryout.
This week only, carry out large two-topping pizzas for just $5.99 each, only at Domino's.
Hi, I'm Guillermo and I'm watching TSTV. Don't forget to watch TSTV. Yeah!
Everyone at PSTV is extremely different. All of the shows kind of have their own sort of personality types that go with them, but I feel like everyone appreciates that a lot. It's definitely a huge hodgepodge of personalities, but it's just fun how everyone gets together and everyone can work together to make something great like what we do at PSTV.
Back here on College Crossfire, let's get a quick score update before we continue on with rapid fire. Crown a winner for the night. Am I right? The reigning champ Addison with 2. Hey, but dude, we really know rapid fire
Of course.
is what gets it done. And you've been good at rapid fire so far.
I've been alright.
Alrighty. And Thomas Bingham, also well known as a very good rapid fire player as well. Thomas, you're in the lead with 4 after that unbelievable rant. And Mark Skoll, you got 3. Guys, let's get right into it. In NBA news, 2 of the league's elite returned to action after missing last season with injuries. Kobe Bryant and Derrick Rose returning to NBA action in the preseason. So, come time for the regular season, though, who are you guys more excited to see? The old veteran Kobe coming off the Achilles injury, or Derrick Rose coming off his 94th injury?
I'm excited to see Kobe come back again, silence all the haters, silence everyone telling him he couldn't do it, because Kobe Bryant's going to come back from that Achilles injury, he's going to come out, he's going to make shots, and I'm ready for the old wily veteran to show us he's still got a little bit left in the tank, because he's got that fire in him, he's got that crossfire in him, and I think he's ready to set the league on fire at least one more time.
Alright, you guys jumping on the Kobe bandwagon
Yeah, I
too?
can't believe I'm saying about Kobe. Derrick Rose is always hurt. We know he's going to get hurt again.
Of course.
Kobe's one of the greatest players in NBA history. Got to go with him. He's excited to watch.
Alright, we got 2 for Kobe?
I gotta go D Rose, man. If you look at the team around him, the team is going to be good. They're built to contend. Lakers, they're not built to do anything next year. I mean, they have Swaggy P, Jeremy Lin. I mean, the Bulls made great acquisitions in the offseason, drafting Doug McDermott, signing Pau Gasol.
Stole Pau from
Stole
my
Pau
squad.
Gasol from the Lakers. I mean, and then they signed Nikola Mirotic. I think the only reason why I'm saying D Rose is just because the Bulls are going to be contenders next year.
But see, my problem with you saying D Rose, then you're listening to everybody else instead of talking about D Rose. With the Lakers,
D Rose is the leader of the team. He's the main guy.
Kobe is the only guy that
how
the
can
Lakers
you
got.
lead from the bench though? He's going to lead in his suit. He can't do that.
I think I'm going to have to go with D-Rose on this one, just because Mark said it himself. The Bulls are going to be contenders. So happy to see Kobe come back. You know, grew up watching him. Great player, but the Lakers, I don't think are going to be contenders in the West this year. Maybe fighting for a 7 or 8 seed. The Bulls, I mean, I could see them maybe making a run at the title. Obviously being a top team in the East.
How much of a factor is Derrick Rose going to play? That's the biggest
I
question.
think he's going to play a huge factor.
He's going to get hurt
He's
again.
the youngest MVP.
Exactly. That's why we're excited to see if he gets hurt again. We don't want him to, obviously.
I'm not rooting for him to get hurt by any means.
Obviously.
We just know his history.
All right, well, Mark's going to grab the 2 points on this one. Guys, our next rapid fire comes to us courtesy of ESPN NFL analyst Trent Dilfer. Get a small slip up on the air. Take a look.
You cannot lose games in the NFL and still win. So you cannot lose games in the NFL and still win. So
guys, you couldn't hear that maybe on the panel, but Trent Dilfer said you can't lose games and win in the NFL. pretty obvious there, and that kind of brings up, maybe some of the best sports cliches. Kind of wanted to touch on that for a minute. This rapid fire is going to be, what is your best, worst sports cliche? Just the absolute, makes you cringe when you hear it. Anybody got a good one?
I think we got to talk about practice for a little bit.
You don't like that?
We got to talk about practice. No, I like it, but at the end of the day, he put himself ahead of the team. He was not, he was just talking about practice.
All right.
They needed to win some games. Allen Iverson didn't get to win any championships, and that's something that I'm sad about because he was a fantastic player, and maybe if he talked about practice and acted it out, he could have had a title.
All right, you guys got any sports?
Playoffs. I love it. Playoffs.
Mark, you got one?
Jim Mora, the first one, senior.
My favorite one is Dennis Green Monday night against the Bears. The Bears are who we thought they were. We let them off the hook. If you want to crown them, then crown them. Like, I can't say it, but I guess. But yeah, that was my favorite one.
Well, so those were like sports blow-up, sports rants. Anybody got any just like horrible cliches you hear an announcer say it or something like that? Makes you cringe?
I guess momentum. Like, I think momentum's overrated a little bit.
I think momentum is real. I'm going to go with John Gruden just saying absolutely ridiculous play names that the average fan has never heard of. Y96 Banana. What does that even mean? I don't know what Y96 Banana
That
is.
sticks him out from the rest of the broadcasters. That's kind of his own, like, little spin.
I just...
I think I'm actually gonna give no points on this one, guys. No. I mean, there were no great sports cliches there. Yeah. All right, guys. Moving on to the last one. Before we decide a winner, let you go for the night. We're gonna end on the Red River rivalry question. The question is best moment from the rivalry.
2008, Jordan Shipley's kick return helped us come back. We won 45-35. Great moment. I loved it.
All right. I said the upset last season. We had no business winning that game against OU, and we went out and we did it. And that's why same circumstances again this season, and I believe the same outcome.
Okay, so point number 6. Never forget it.
Never forget.
Mark?
I got to go with last year. The rushing attack was just amazing last year. It was just amazing. They blew out a team that they weren't expected to win. I just got to go with them last year.
All right. I'm gonna throw a tiebreaker in here. It's between Thomas and it's between the rookie, Mark. Guys, the backup here is tiebreaker. What is the name of the trophy that Texas and OU
The
played?
golden hat.
Thomas Bingham got it. Jumps on it. He's your winner. He's your winner tonight. He's pumped up. Thomas, audience has been loving you tonight. Been loving your enthusiasm. You got 30 seconds of FaceTime. Go for it.
The Texas-OU rivalry is one of the greatest in history. Even if I don't think we're going to win this weekend, you have to go to that game once in a while, or once in your lifetime at least. It's a great game, 50-50, orange, crimson. You got to do it. Texas, OU, I love it.
Thomas is pumped up. Are you guys going to be in attendance at the Red River rivalry?
I will be in attendance at the Red River rivalry.
Mark, you be there?
I wish I couldn't get tickets. You could ride either.
All right, real quick. Score prediction before we go. Just real fast.
Score prediction,
Real quick.
21-14 Texas.
So we close like 2010, I'll say 24-21.
28-17.
All right, I'm going 35-17 OU. And that's all the time we're going to have for tonight. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of College Crossfire. As always, catch us right here every Wednesday night, same time. You follow us on Twitter, @CollegeXFire. For the biggest news on the 40 acres, tune into College Press Box. Monday nights at 9:30 p.m. for Master Control of the studio. A wonderful panel tonight. We'll see y'all next week.